Hello and welcome to this new season of Tixel. What is this behavior? It's been a while since I made an episode for a lot of reasons, but I'm glad I'm back at it. And this season is going to be different. It's going to be more casual. I'm going to be talking about things that are more personal to me, that I'm more passionate about. I think that would be a better way to put it. And it was not that I didn't like the way season one went. It was great. I got to talk to so many people, understand the work that they're doing, and if I'm able to even get to like four people about the work that they've done, I think it's a victory for me. But this time it's going to be a little different. And at the beginning of every episode, I'm just going to be talking about the things that happened in the past week, right? And this time, one of the things that I noticed, that I witnessed, was the US presidential debate. And I know, it shouldn't really affect me as a person, as a boy living in Bangalore in India. But it's always something that I admire of American politics, the debates, that people actually talk about your policies more than what religion you are, or where how you are towards another. I mean, that is there in American politics as well, but I think in India that dominates the entirety of the conversation that you have when you're talking about when you're talking about politics. And I think that system needs to be implemented here in some or the other way, wherein candidates are coming and talking about their policies, because half the people don't know their policies. And I personally, it's a very select few people who actually go through the manifestos. It's very few people that actually talk about the manifestos. Even when politicians actually go there, it's just the same thing about unemployment, and I don't know. Then they don't really talk about how they're going to tackle it, and that's something that these debates could actually bring about that discussion within the public. But what can you do? But yeah, so this particular debate was pretty bad, right? And if you've already heard this from other people saying this, the news articles, there are anchors just using cuss words to describe how bad the entire debate was. Like, I agree with all of them. Like, it was a pretty bad debate. I think the only plus was I think Chris Wallace did a great job in moderating that entire debate. He's one of the very few objective journalists that are there in America right now. I mean, when you're talking about the mainstream media, he's a part of Fox, right? So he's one of the most objective ones over there, unlike his counterparts like Sean Hannity or other colleagues that he has at Fox. And that was a good job. But if you look at the debate, this when you see the previous debates as well, that be it Obama Romney or even Trump Hillary, right, is that was again not the best debate, but it was much better than what we witnessed this year. Trump continued what he did before, but then this time Biden came in, and it was just two people who personally hated each other. And there was nothing professional about this debate. It was just two people saying, your policy sucks, no, your policy sucks. And that to me was such a letdown, because those debates are rather boring. Like, you can watch any other parliamentary debates happening at college levels too, if you want it to be exciting. But there's something about just something about these debates which is so interesting, because again, they're talking about actual issues, right? And they're talking and how who best the other in this debate sort of influences the voting to some extent. And this time you just didn't get what each of the candidates were saying, because it was just a war of words, just two people shouting at each other, which made no sense to anyone. And that's sort of a letdown, because this is one of the few things that I admire about American politics, right? And to see that even that this particular institution, or I don't know, this mode of talking about policies, etc., is even it's being disrupted to such a large extent, because and it's going to worsen from now on, because because this is doing this itself is what got Trump the presidency in 2016. Of course, he lost the popular vote and everything, but even to get to that extent where he won by that electoral college, there is some rationale behind it, because people love the way he's so open, he's so he will just go, he will go at it. He's not very subtle, he's not diplomatic, right? And I think that's what Americans like about him. And maybe that's sort of a trend that's worldwide. Even here, I think there are people like, I think, for example, Kangana Ranaut. Her statements are so stupid, right? Especially if you saw her recent tweet about depression and how drug use is the cause of depression and nonsense like that. But then, she's just saying what a lot of people are actually thinking. So, they're just like, oh yeah, man, she's so cool. I think, man, I agree with her, and I wouldn't be surprised if she somehow ends up in a cabinet position in the coming years. So, it's just how it is. But yes, so the presidential debates were a letdown. I mean, I'm not even looking forward for the other two debates. So, I'm just going to read about it, see something on Trevor Noah or something. But politics is always, when politicians and politics lets you down, you turn to much more better things, something that will never let you down, and that is football, right? And this episode, we're going to be talking about the Premier League, and we have two guests on the podcast. So stay tuned and hope you enjoy this episode. Hello and welcome to this new season of What Is This Behavior? And today we're going to be talking about the best league in the world, according to me at least, and that is the Premier League. And joining us, people from Sticky Sidelines, David, John, and Hriday Bajaj. Hello, both of you. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey Alden, what's up?
Hey, man.
Hi, hi.
I hope both of you are doing well, right? It's been a while since I came back with the podcast, so it's like you guys are my first guests after quite a while. So congratulations on that, firstly, David. Okay, I know this is like a big deal for you, and and I was gonna make a joke saying, oh, Jishnu and Aditya didn't call you on their podcast until I saw their episode come out today. So, well, that joke went away. Anyways, so today we're going to be talking about the Premier League, right? And but before we get into our whole discussion today, why don't you tell us what both of you do? Like, what is Sticky Sidelines, and give the listeners a little gist of what you guys do.
So basically, Sticky Sidelines is an Instagram page, three of us run, where we have predictions and discussions and basically make nice content around all sports such as football, cricket, basketball. And basically, what we do is we any latest news or any big incident in any sport, we share it on our page, and yeah, that's
Right.
about it. We have predictions, discussions, and that's about
That's
it.
great, and all of you should really check out Sticky Sidelines. They're doing some pretty cool, and they've done some great work. Their predictions are pretty cool. When we'll get to their predictions pretty soon, right? Because we've had a very, very amazing start to the season. Just 4 games in, and the league, like, you can see the teams that were dominating last season have already fallen to their knees. So, David, what are your, since you're a City fan, right? What are your thoughts about the start that we've had to this season? You can talk about specifically about City, but you can just tell us what are your thoughts on the how we've started the season so far.
Okay, so now it's a pretty unpredictable start, I'd say. So
Mm-hmm.
from a City point of view, we had a Leicester loss, then we drew to Leeds. So not all in all, not a great start.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the other teams in the league doing pretty much as bad as us, it's safe to say that this is going to be a really tight year. Probably
Right.
have the lowest points tally for the champions in a while.
Mm-hmm.
There probably won't be another 99 or 100 pointer, champion. Probably be very close, with Everton, likes of Everton, Arsenal, all doing, reasonably well. It's a very, very unpredictable start, and I still can't, take it all in.
I know, because United have had a rocky start, right? And yesterday's game against Spurs was one. We'll talk about that soon. Then Chelsea were also off to a pretty rocky start with a loss in their very first game itself to Liverpool, right? And now Liverpool out of nowhere loses their game to Aston Villa out of all the teams. And Everton, a team which I personally never took seriously, right? I don't think anyone ever took Everton seriously, is now at the top of the league with 4 wins, right? So, Hriday, what do you have to say about how Manchester United started their season? Do you think it's going to be like the end of the road for Ole somewhere in the middle of the season?
I feel like more than anything, United at the moment need a change in ownership rather than the
Mm-hmm.
change in players or manager.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really like Ole as a manager.
Right.
He's not being backed in the transfer window,
Mm-hmm.
and that it looks like the way it's going, he's going to get sacked in like say December, January. Going to sign another manager and going to go through the same cycle again of not being backed in the transfer window. It's going to be a very negative season for us, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So just hoping that maybe we could get some positives out of it. Maybe one trophy or in their Carabao Cup or an
Right.
FA Cup or something like that. And to just keep the hopes up. But otherwise, yeah, it doesn't look a very promising season for us.
Well, what do you think about the game that on the like yesterday from the day of a recording? So this probably might go out to listeners a little later. But what do you think about the game against Spurs? What do you think went wrong for United?
Pretty much everything actually. Nothing went right for United at the moment
Mm-hmm.
in that match. Started off with a penalty, everyone got happy, but then I feel I feel people fussing about United needing a right winger at the time is not a priority. We have Greenwood there who's doing phenomenal. I
Right.
feel our main priority should be centre backs.
Mm-hmm.
I feel 80 million for Maguire was a waste of money, and even the likes of Lindelof and Bailly, like these are okay players, but
Right.
these aren't players who you see playing in a Manchester United team.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't. I feel like out of the 11 players playing, only 2, 3 may deserve a spot or may deserve to wear that badge with them.
I think Patrice Evra was quite vocal about that. He was just like, none of them deserve it. So, I mean, that's pretty strong words coming from an ex Manu player, and that's not ideally what you would want to see from the alumni, if I may. And but the other very interesting game was Liverpool versus Aston Villa, and I'm going to shift to this topic to sort of get not remind Hriday of this, and because you're a United fan, I heard, and this is I don't want you to go through that trauma again. So let's talk about Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Okay, so what are your thoughts on this particular game? Like, did any of you expect it?
Okay, so to be honest, I have a friend who's a Liverpool fan. His name's Dylan. So he uh, just before the game, he actually said that I feel it'll be a very tough game. We might just win it, or probably just
Mhm.
struggle to get something out of the game. And I was just, I honestly, the amount I laughed at him. I called him up and I told him, "What's wrong with you? It's Aston Villa. It's not some Manchester City that you're
Going up
going to
against, yeah.
struggle and win." Then they actually, bro, they conceded 4 in the first half, and I'm just like, oh shit. But then still at halftime, I called Dylan and I told him that, bro, it's Liverpool. At the end, they just get something out of the game.
Right.
It's just there in them. And then they lost 7-2, bro. The amount of fun I had, oh my god. I was so my entire Saturday went like kind of low because
Hmm.
City drew. I was just like, ah, shit, man. No, season's pretty much gone. Then
But
Liverpool go ahead and just amazing weekend.
who do you think were the key players for Villa in this previous game?
Grealish, Watkins. I mean, that those are my picks. And Trezeguet, that front three,
Mm-hmm.
and dude, the addition of Barkley into that midfield also.
Yeah, and he did get a
They
goal
aren't
and
the same. Yeah, they aren't the same Villa that we saw last season that stayed
barely
up in the
scraped through. Yeah.
cause of a miracle. This is
Right.
a proper mid-table team, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they
I
beat
mean,
Liverpool, so
yeah, I think calling them a mid-table team is it's a fair assessment. I mean, last season I think even Liverpool lost 3-0 to Watford, if I'm not wrong. It didn't mean
yeah,
that
yeah.
Watford topped the table or anything. But yeah, I think calling them a mid-table team at best is a fair analysis, I feel. This transfer window was pretty where while we're recording this, we're at the transfer deadline, right? So it's been a very weird transfer window. You see Bale and Bale is back in the Premier League. I mean, which is sort of expected, but then again, it's pretty great to see this player back here. And you have Rodriguez as well, and there are so many big transfers that have happened, right? So who, according to you, you guys are the best picks in this transfer window so far? And like, I know the deadline is still we still a few hours from the deadline, but so far, who do you think is your best pick? Let's start with Hriday on this.
talking about the Premier League, I feel with the impact we've seen in the first 3-4 games, James Rodriguez, obviously, the way Carlo Ancelotti has added him into the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see Dominic Calvert-Lewin at a new level. You see Richarlison playing at a new level. You
Mm-hmm.
see their fullbacks like Luca Dean playing at the new level. So he's
Right.
just been able to get that whole attacking, and I feel every every football fan who's watching the Premier League at the moment is loving the way Everton's playing. I
Correct.
feel only the Liverpool fans might be a little scared because they're playing them next week, but
Yeah.
yeah, I feel everyone's just loving the way Everton's playing and the goals they're scoring. So I feel James Rodriguez was a brilliant signing. After that,
But do you think that Everton would be able to sustain this form? Because I mean, if you look at their game right now, how they're playing is Rodriguez is at the center of everything. He's sort of I think if you remove Rodriguez from the equation, Everton would suffer a bit, right? So do you think they would be able to sustain this, considering the Premier League is a very gruesome, tight packed, and you don't have the sort of breaks that you get in the Bundesliga or the French league? So do you think Everton would be able to sustain that form?
I think so. Yeah, maybe not to the extent of winning the league, but they've had many reinforcements in the midfield with Alan and Doucouré. So I feel maybe top four, top five is like a pretty good possibility. Also,
Mm-hmm.
looking at the way the big top six are playing at the moment, like the likes of United and Chelsea not
Right,
looking at their best after that transfer window of theirs. So I feel
right.
top four, top five is a possibility for them if they keep playing with this. And I think I see them playing at the same level
Mm-hmm.
for the remainder of the season.
David, what do you think? Who is your best pick in the transfer window so far?
Okay, so on paper, you got to give it to Chelsea. They've made the signings that they need. It's just that I don't know if it's Lampard and not being able to integrate these new players into the squad or the chemistry between the players, but logically that team could easily win the title. The likes of Werner, Havertz, then they got Mendy back in
Right.
as their new keeper. So on paper, Chelsea are just a phenomenal team. It's just I just feel they need an experienced manager. Lampard's been given the money, gotten the right players. It's just I just feel they need an experienced manager to get somewhere this season. Apart from that, I'm obviously going to be really biased and say that one of the top signings this transfer window is Ruben Diaz for City.
Yeah, I
The
was just
entire last season we struggled at the back, not having a proper right centre back, playing Fernandinho, playing John Stones, who should leave, and then playing Otamendi. So we
right.
haven't had a proper solution to Vincent Company leaving. So now I
Correct.
think Ruben Diaz brings that. In that Leeds game, he played pretty well,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd like to see more of him. To get a proper understanding of if he's actually the quality we need.
Correct. And again, it's still just 4 games into the Premier League, right? So this I think this whole conversation is going to be more about how we think the season would go forward. But then Chelsea, like you've already said a few names like Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, Sar, Chilwell, Silva, Mendy. Like these are big names, right? And I think this sort of takes me back to 2003, 4, 2000. During that time when Chelsea won their very first Premier League title, right? Even at the same that time, you could see that Roman Abramovich had just come into the picture, and they made big signings, and they had a manager like Mourinho coming in and guiding them to that Premier League title. And I think I would agree with you, David, when you say that they need that manager to put all the pieces together. Okay, so today is the deadline for the transfer window. So who do you think? Who do you think they'll be able to snatch up the teams in the last minute? Because Arsenal is still in pursuit of Aouar and Thomas Partey, and then even Manchester United is rather busy in the transfer window towards the end of it. There's news about Cavani, Telles, etc. So who do you think is going to get the better of these last few hours? Hriday, why don't you take this since I mentioned United?
Yeah, I'm actually very excited for it's a good day after that defeat for to have the transfer window and seeing updates of Cavani and Telles having their miracles at United.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those two transfers should be announced in a couple of hours, if not by tomorrow. So that's one positive for us at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the Sancho deal is off.
Right.
Even the Dembele deal is off.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel these two are going to be the transfers with us at the end of the season. I mean, the end of the transfer window till January at least.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of other teams, I see Everton strengthening their squad with the signing of Ben Godfrey from Norwich,
Right.
which just got official. And yeah, like you said, I don't see Arsenal getting Thomas Partey or Hassan Moore. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel that's about it, which is going to happen on the last day.
But yeah, so let's just move into, since we still have a lot of the season left ahead, and I'm not just talking the Premier League, I'm talking the UCL, I'm talking the Bayern, we're talking about all these leagues, right? And we'll start with the predictions for this particular season. Okay, we'll start with Hriday, with the who do you think is going to be in the top four of the Premier League, and you can mention your order as well. So why don't you start?
I feel Liverpool should get back to their senses
Mhm.
and take the title again. After which, I feel second place, very close second place, would be City.
Right.
Uh, Third place, I I think Everton might take it. You never know the way stuff is going.
Mhm.
And I think fourth would be Chelsea or Arsenal, one of them.
Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. So these are the prediction that you guys have put up on your on Sticky Sidelines page, and that is Man United to end up in fourth place, okay, and Chelsea in third, Liverpool in second, and City winning the Champions. I'm sorry, not Champions League, the Premier League. David, how much do you agree with your own predictions? Because I saw City first, I know this has something to do with David. So,
Okay,
what do you think?
so first and second place stays the same. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still not going to budge. It's still going to be City and Liverpool dominating. But the
Right.
Liverpool side I saw yesterday were completely different than the dominant side they were last season. And City haven't had such a huge dip in form. They've reinforced that defensive position also. So they probably could just be much better this season
Right.
once Aguero's back, and that's probably right after the international break.
Mm-hmm.
So my third and fourth position. Now I'd like to say that if you'd asked me the same question at the start of the season, I'd still go with that same prediction. But having
Mm-hmm.
seen the teams play, I'd go with Hriday and say probably Everton in third.
Right.
And for fourth place, I still feel, though I feel Chelsea could have actually done really well this season and probably come third this season.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel they'll still need another full season to get that entire team integrated because most of the
Right.
players are still not back. So I think Ziyech he still has to come back. Pulisic still has to start at that side. So I still think they take a while.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my fourth and fifth place is probably between Arsenal and Chelsea. Still not very sure on who takes the fourth and who takes the fifth right now.
So it's ultimately going to be how Frank Lampard is as a manager, right? I
Yeah.
think he's proved himself at Derby, but Chelsea, I think like he started off his managerial career with a 4-0 loss, and you just have to hope that he doesn't. It's not reflective of his entire this thing. Okay, those are the predictions. My predictions, personally, I feel Liverpool would be able to take this one again, right? I think Everton will give them a challenge, right? They will not win because I personally do not see them sustain it. I think I'm pretty skeptic about City making it that good. I would say they would be third with Everton second and Liverpool ultimately winning it, right? And fourth, I would say would be Arsenal this time. Again, this is not me being biased or anything, but I think they are a better side this season. They've started off really great. They've worked on their defense a little better, right? And they've also better their attacking options. I don't know about Awar. Okay, I don't know about Partey. It would I think I was not very keen on having Partey in the side, but Awar I was looking forward to. But I mean, there's nothing you can really do. But yeah, so I think would you guys agree? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I think we all agree that Liverpool and City have a good chance of making it to the top four, right? But what are your UCL predictions? I think we've already said that Bayern might win it, but who do you think would make it into the this finals? Who do you think would be able to give a good competition to them? David, why don't you go first?
See, the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
I go with City, but
Right.
they're so unpredictable in this competition. I really can't tell what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because on paper, I still feel City have what it takes to win the Champions League.
Right.
Past 3 seasons easily they had the chance to win it. It all comes down to Pep and not sticking to what works. He tried out against the Leon in the Leon game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel he gave Leon too much respect by trying the three at the back himself, playing two CDMs and two fullbacks. Very defensive minded game,
Right.
which is not his style. So if he goes on and does stuff like this, I don't see us winning the Champions League with him as our manager.
Mm-hmm.
But if he sticks to what we're good at, our traditional dominant style of play, and keeps that going through the entire season, we have a good chance. Like how we played against Madrid,
Right.
that was pure beautiful game to watch. So if he can keep that up for the entire UCL season without making major changes that affect the squad's morale and motivation, I still feel that we could make it to the finals and probably win it too.
Well, I think with that we've sort of covered most of the things that we had to cover. Okay, so this is something new that I wanted to try this time, and this time this episode is going to be special because we're going to do pop quiz. All right, so this is going to be a trivia for you guys. We have like close to 6-7 questions, right? So any of you can answer this. Whoever gets it first, and let's keep a point system as such. Okay, whoever wins this. I don't have a prize, but we'll figure something out. Okay, so again, no using the internet. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds to answer a question. You cannot Google it. Okay, and David, I know you will do nonsense like this, so no. Okay. So we'll do.
I was just waiting for a WhatsApp from you with the answers. I still haven't received that message.
But well, okay, fine. Oh, okay. But let's start off. Okay, so we'll do this. First question goes to David. If David doesn't know, it passes on to Hriday. Okay, and the next question then we'll go to Hriday. Then you get the point, right? Okay. So the first question. Okay, David, this one is for you. Okay, in what year did Chelsea win their first Premier League title?
Was it 2004?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That is the wrong answer. Hriday, what about you?
Shit.
I think it's 2003, 2004, if I'm not wrong.
Wow. Okay. Are you sure? Like, choose. Is it 3 or 4?
That season, the season that started in 2004, 2005, I think.
That is
Like
the
that's
correct answer. Actually, they did win it in 2005.
Shit, I got half right.
You got you were very close. That was Mourinho's first season, and they lost only one game throughout that entire season. They played amazing, and and I think we spoke about this before, where I said Abramovich pumped in money to Chelsea, and you should have listened to me carefully, David. Gosh. Okay, now the second question is to Hriday. Okay, since I got few questions because you're a United fan. In the 1998-1999, Manchester United won the treble of the FA Cup, Champions League, and the Premier League. But who was their top goal scorer in the league? Okay, do you know this answer, or do you want me to give you options?
options. I thought you were going to ask me an easy question like who scored the winner, and I was going to be like, "Ole!" I'm so happy.
That's pretty easy. That's that's pretty easy. But I'll give you 4 options, right? Okay. Option A is Dwight York. Option B is Andy Cole. Option C is Oleg Gunnar Solskjaer. And option D is Teddy Sheringham. Okay, I'll repeat. Okay.
I think
okay.
it's Dwight York, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, you are right, actually. He scored 18 goals in the Premier League that season. Okay, so he was the top scorer in the Premier League. So, okay. Anyways, the next question is for you, David. Okay. Who holds the record for the most penalties scored in the Premier League? Okay, your options are A, Alan Shearer, B. Steven Gerrard, C. Frank Lampard, and D. Matt Letizia. Most penalties in the league.
Is it D?
Matt Letizia? No, it's not. Over to Hriday.
Shit, man. I thought Bruno would be an option.
Dude, he barely
go with-
played in the Premier League. Huh.
I'm gonna go with Steven Gerrard.
Well, that's actually wrong. Also, the correct answer is Frank Lampard. He's taken the most penalties scored, and that is 32 penalties, which actually seems like a small number considering the years he's played. And I mean, yeah, but so Frank Lampard with 32 penalties is the record. Okay. Now, the next question is, wait, who took the previous one? David, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, this one's for Hriday. Okay, 5 goalkeepers have scored Premier League goals. Okay, in Premier League history. Who are these goalkeepers? Even if you name 2, I think it's fine. So Hriday, name at least 2 goalkeepers who've scored Premier League goals.
Think Van der Sar scored one. If I'm not wrong.
You can guess more. I think David, even you can just come in and just give your guesses.
Check by any chance?
Not Czech or Van der Sar. Like, I can give you a hint.
There was one recent in the last 4-5 years. I feel it was Thibaut Courtois or someone.
A Chelsea player, yes, but not Thibaut Courtois. Wait, he was a Chelsea player, right? Wait.
Yeah. I have no clue.
Wait, you guys really don't even know one? Are you serious?
I'm just gonna keep guessing. Schmeichel.
That's correct. That's one. Peter Schmeichel is
Yes.
one. Okay, you still have 4. I cannot believe you guys didn't guess the most famous one. Like, out of these 2 of these players are American goalkeepers. 2 of them. Just to give you a hint.
Tim Howard one?
Yup, Tim Howard is one. The goal from the other end of the field. Yes, Tim Howard is one. You have 3 others left, but yeah. Well, okay. So okay. I mean, it took you so long to figure out Tim Howard, so I'm just gonna just let it be. Okay, so the 5 goalkeepers who scored in the Premier League are Asimir Begovic, Brad Friedel, Tim Howard, which you guys got, Paul Robinson, and Peter Schmeichel. So those are the 5. Weirdly, that's just 5 people because I thought penalties would be counted. Anyway, so the next question is for is it for Hriday or is it for David? Because I've lost.
No, David.
David. Okay, David. This is pretty easy, and I hope you get this. Who was the top English goal scorer in the Premier League in the 2018-2019 season?
2018-2019. That's 2 years ago, right?
That's the one that City won. Who was the top goal scorer? If you Google this, I'm hitting
No,
you.
No. I'm not Googling. I'm just thinking, bro. 3 people won the Golden Boot. I know that. None were English.
That was last season. No, wait.
No, last season Vardy won it. The season before that it was Aubameyang, Salah, and I think Mane. Is it? No, I don't think it's. Is it Vardy?
It is Vardy actually with 18 goals.
Shit.
He scored 18 goals in that season, so it is Jamie Vardy, and City won that time. But Vardy.
Yes, that I know.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is for Hriday. Okay.
What's the score?
You're leading. You're leading. Okay, I can say you got the first 2 questions and then one. You got Tim Howard, so I can say you're in the lead, right? So David has lost this game, but
3-2, right? Just asking. The score's 3-2, right? So
it's 3-1.
I got a keeper, he got a keeper.
Okay, fine. But Schmeichel, fine. It's 3-2. It's 3-2. Okay, but I think Hriday will get this one. Okay, this is an easy question. Okay, but if you can tell me the name of the number of times this has happened, then I think I can give you a brownie point for that. Okay, Who was the most fouled player in the Premier League season of 2019-20? And how many times was he fouled during this time? If you the second one is an added bonus, but if you can guess the first one also, that's great. Who was the most fouled
Wait.
player in the Premier League season of 2019-20?
1920 or the season that just got over?
The season that just got
season
over
that
is
just got
1920, right?
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Jack Grealish, I know that for sure.
Yeah. Can you guess the number of times he got fouled?
I don't know why this number just like came into my head, but it doesn't sound it's right. I think it's 56.
That's wrong. David, you want to take a crack at it?
39.
That's also wrong. The actual number, it blew my mind how many times this dude's been fouled. In just 26 games, Jack Grealish was fouled 127 times. It just blew me. This dude is.
I thought 56 is a lot. Like 38 games, 56. No. So.
Yeah, 127 times. It just makes you think. Like, I don't know. I think this dude was faking it half the time. I don't know. 127 times just seems a lot. Okay. Anyways, this is the last question, and this one is for David. But I think Hriday has already gotten a hang of this. So, anyways, I actually made this question for Hriday itself, and I couldn't find any good City questions because I was scrolling through some websites. But yeah, so Manchester United beat City both home and away in the league for the first time in over a decade. I don't remember which season this was. I think this was last season or the season before. Okay, and last season, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, which players?
I remember this.
Which players scored in both these games? Your options are Marcus Rashford, Sergio Aguero, Anthony Martial, Nicolas Otamendi. Which player scored in both these games?
Give the options again.
Marcus Rashford, Sergio Aguero, Anthony Martial, Nicolas Otamendi.
Martial.
Ooh, you got that. Nice. That is the correct answer. Anthony Martial did score both home and away. Wait, did you Google this? I don't trust you.
Oh, no. I remember this match. I went with Hriday and saw this second match.
Well, I think that was so technically Hriday won because he got more answers. David, you suck. Please quit Sticky Sidelines and let Hriday and Rohan do that thing.
Shit, man.
Okay. I think that's a great note to end it on. That that David is a loser. Yes, that's a great way to end it on. Thank you so much, guys, for coming for the podcast. It was a great episode. This is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, so finally got to do it. Right. So with that, we've come to the end of this particular episode. Anything you would like to say to our listeners, especially those football fans who are listening, who might listen to this podcast? So anything? Let's start with Hriday. Do you have anything for them?
Just gonna do a little bit of marketing here and ask them to go follow Sticky Sidelines. That's one.
Yep.
And yeah, I feel we're up for like a crazy season with what's already happened. And let's hope that something positive happens for United.
Yeah. I wouldn't hope that much for it because, Arsenal. But yeah, David, what do you have to say?
Okay, so firstly, write this down somewhere. City are going to win the Champions League. Y'all can call me when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But you heard it here first. And second, like Hriday said, just follow Sticky Sidelines for some amazing sports content. And thanks for having us, man, Alden.
Hey, my pleasure. And I'm saying this, I've said this before, I'm saying it again. City is not winning the UCL. They will choke once again, and the farthest they will get is I think the farthest they will probably get is the quarterfinals and semifinals, like nothing more. They are not winning.
Write it down.
I will write it down. I will send it on post to you. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me here, and thank you for listening to this episode. Hope to see you guys soon, and thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning into the first episode of this season. Thank you for all the support you've shown throughout season 1. Right. So a couple of things. Firstly, we're on a new platform. We're on Amazon Music as well. So make sure to check us out there if you're one who uses Amazon Music. I use Amazon Music because I have Amazon Prime, and we only have that because, the free delivery and stuff, and otherwise we wouldn't have gotten it. But apart from that, we are on Amazon Music, and the Imagine Order is still doing great. They're coming up with new episodes, and their most recent one is about cricket. So since this is IPL season, I think you might enjoy that season. So yes, check that out. And also make sure to follow us on Instagram. The handle is at tixit.podcast, where we will be putting up updates about this new season. We'll be taking in suggestions from all of you, so make sure to follow us and support us wherever you can. Share this podcast. You can, if you're listening on Spotify, you can just share it on your story directly. It barely takes you 2 seconds, so do that. And once again, thank you for your support, and hope you listen to the further episodes as well. Thank you.